Welcome to Learn and Success. If you want to improve your English, grow your skills, and become more confident in life, you're in the right place. Here, you'll find simple lessons, clear explanations, and stories that keep you learning every day.
Hit subscribe and join the community. Your journey to success starts here.
So have you ever had that experience where you sit down, you're ready to conquer some massive goal?
Oh, absolutely.
Like a new skill, a huge work project, and then you see the sheer scale of it and you freeze up.
Yes, it's that information overload feeling, right? It's that paralyzing dread where you feel like you're starting under a landslide, not at the bottom of a hill.
Exactly. You feel like there's just too much for me to handle.
It's the universal reaction to complexity, and honestly, it's probably the #1 reason why big goals fail. Our brain just does this quick emotional math and says, nope, too hard, too long, too stressful.
And then we burn out.
We burn out after, 2 days? Because we confuse just being busy with actually making progress.
Right. Well, our deep dive today is designed to be the antidote to that exact feeling, to that paralysis. We've been looking at material that focuses on what it calls the magic of focus through these really small, stress-free steps. So our mission is pretty laser-focused. We want to pull out actionable strategies that you can use, like today, and link them to these bigger ideas of continuous improvement in your life and work.
And we can really sum up the whole thing right at the start. The power of focus isn't about, concentrating harder on a million things.
Right.
It's about actively choosing not to do everything at once. It's an active subtraction. And while the examples we're pulling from started with language learning, the idea is completely universal. It's about managing complexity, period.
Okay, let's unpack this then. There's this anecdote in the material that really kind of cemented the problem for me. It's about a person named Leo.
Right, Leo.
And he was just completely overwhelmed trying to learn a new language. His dilemma is one I think we all face. He was super stressed because he was trying to learn grammar, vocabulary, listening, and speaking all at the same time.
All at once. He was trying to jump on 4 different trains at full speed.
Exactly.
And that feeling, that mountain you mentioned, that is the breaking point. That's the critical moment where most people give up. They see all these parallel skills they need, and the emotional fatigue just sets in before they even start.
He just fell into that trap of thinking that doing more meant he would progress faster.
Which is so counterintuitive, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
We're always taught to maximize our effort. So what was the advice they gave him? The simple, almost radical advice.
It was stunningly straightforward. It was basically stop. Stop trying to juggle everything.
Just stop.
Yeah, just choose one small single thing and focus only on that until it's done. That is it. Nothing else matters for that moment.
Okay, but I have to push back a little on that because I know what people listening might be thinking. If I've got, say, 4 huge things I need to learn for a new job budgeting, team leadership, some new software, and I choose to only focus on budgeting for 1 hour, doesn't that just feel like I'm avoiding the other 3?
Yeah.
Like I'm slowing myself down?
That is an excellent question, and it gets to the core misunderstanding of how progress actually compounds over time. If you spend an hour trying to touch on all 4 of those things, you make maybe a tiny bit of progress in each one, and you're left feeling completely exhausted.
And like you've accomplished nothing.
Exactly. The solution wasn't some vague, be-motivated speech. It was about defining the next 5 minutes of action.
So give us the specifics. How small were these tasks for Leo?
Oh, they were tiny. Almost trivial. The source material suggested something like, today, your only job is to listen to a 2-minute story and try to get the main idea. That's it. Forget grammar for this session.
Right.
Then tomorrow, you pick another small task. Maybe it's learning just 3 new phrases. Not 30, just 3. The scale is intentionally designed to feel easy.
I see the benefit there immediately. It just removes the intimidation factor completely. If you tell yourself, my only job right now is to master this one single sentence, your brain can handle that.
It can handle it. Exactly. This gives you these immediate, tangible boundaries. It contains the challenge. It's like mental triage for your brain, telling it, this is the only thing you need to worry about right now.
And that leads to this core psychological finding they emphasize,
Yes.
which is the ability to stay calm.
And that is so vital. When you break these massive goals into tiny, clear steps, your mind can actually achieve a state of focused calm. You're removing the anxiety about the entire mountain, and you're replacing it with intense focus on, a single pebble.
And that switch from anxiety to concentration must make you way more efficient.
Dramatically more. And even more importantly, when you finish that tiny task, you understand the story, you write the first paragraph of that report, you get that little hit of dopamine, you feel encouraged.
That feeling of completion is everything, isn't it? It builds momentum.
It is absolutely critical. It generates momentum and that feeling of, okay, I can do this. And when you repeat that, these small wins don't just add up, they start to compound. Progress gets faster because you never hit that burnout wall. You're building a habit of success.
That is the real trick, isn't it? It's a powerful mental game.
Yeah.
And this is where it gets really interesting for me. The application of this, outside of just learning a language.
Yes.
This becomes a strategy for life, for work, for personal growth. It's not a study method. It's a philosophy for getting better at anything.
It is. The huge shift is realizing that real, lasting progress doesn't come from these dramatic overnight changes. It comes from small, steady, manageable steps. And this idea has a really deep history.
Right. The material connects it to these bigger global concepts.
Yeah.
Let's spend some time here because this is where the deeper insight is. Let's talk about the Japanese concept of Kaizen.
Kaizen, yeah. It translates roughly to continuous improvement, and it's probably the most famous application of this whole philosophy. It started in post-war Japan in manufacturing.
But it became this huge operational philosophy.
It did. And its core principle is, well, it's radical. Don't try to change the whole system in one day. Don't go for the massive disruptive innovation. Instead, just commit to making one small improvement every single day.
That sounds incredibly patient, which is maybe why it feels so different from our business culture, which is all about the big leap, right? The huge disruptive success.
Precisely. Kaizen embraces the idea that small changes are less risky, they're easier to implement, and most importantly, they're more sustainable. If you try to change 3 huge things at work this week, you'll probably fail at all of them.
You'll get resistance, you'll get exhausted.
But if you commit to making one tiny process 1% better every day, like shaving 30 seconds off pulling up a report, that change sticks. It becomes durable.
So one focused change at a time, one new phrase at a time, one tiny improvement. It's the complete opposite of a big New Year's resolution that just collapses by February.
It absolutely is. And this connects perfectly to that other idea the material brought up from the writer James Altucher.
The 1% better idea.
The 1% better everyday idea. We forget how powerful compounding is. Not just with money, but with skills. If you get just 1% better than you were yesterday, the growth over a year is just staggering.
Let's actually do the math on that for a second because it's kind of a mind-bending concept.
Yeah.
If you improve by 1% every day for a year, you don't end up 365% better.
Not even close.
You end up 37 times better than where you started.
That's right, 37 times. And on the flip side, if you get 1% worse every day, if you skip that small task because it feels trivial, You're basically at 0 by the end of the year.
Wow.
The difference between those two tiny daily choices is everything. It reframes learning not as a stressful sprint, but as a constant, gentle, unstoppable forward motion.
And this just works everywhere. The material lists so many examples. Think about starting a new job. Instead of trying to read the whole employee handbook on day one.
You just focus on one thing. Maybe it's mastering the meeting schedule software. That's it. That small win lowers your stress, it builds your confidence, and then you can move on to the next thing tomorrow.
Or a big creative project like writing a book. The thought of writing 80,000 words is paralyzing.
It is. But the task of writing 500 words today, that's not. Or even smaller, just outlining the next chapter. You build it piece by piece, focusing only on the single part in front of you. You only have to write the one scene you're in.
It's the same for any skill, really. Cooking, playing music, exercise. The risk of doing too much too fast is always the same.
What is it?
Your emotional system gets overwhelmed, resistance builds, and, as the source says, you may give up. But small daily action means you never lose that forward momentum. Your improvement rate never drops back to 0.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, this whole philosophy just gives so much relief to anyone who feels overwhelmed. We're sort of culturally conditioned to believe that effort has to be painful to be valuable.
Right. No pain, no gain.
Exactly. But this argues the opposite. Sustainable, focused, almost trivial effort is what actually delivers the monumental results over time.
And it makes the process itself more enjoyable, which is huge. Instead of fighting anxiety, you're just completing tasks.
It's the difference between seeing a task as a punishment and seeing it as just a predictable step forward. There's that famous saying cited in the analysis that sums it up perfectly.
The longest journey becomes easy when you take one step at a time.
That's the one.
That phrase is really the perfect summary for this whole deep dive. Breaking things down makes learning easier, more flexible, and just less likely to fall victim to that paralysis from overload.
Absolutely. We're just moving the finish line closer by making the daily expectations smaller.
So to really bring this home, let's just quickly review the key tools, the vocabulary that the source material use to define these ideas.
Good idea. The first word is task, a piece of work you need to do.